headlines, Saudi jet to resume bombing raids over many areas. Yemeni fishermen stage a protest in Judaidah. And the Saudi war doubles the suffering of Yemeni workers. Hello and welcome to the English news from Yemen Today channel. I, Ahmed Mohammed Al-Faqih. The Saudi warplanes launched 3 raids on Nehem and Bani Matar directories in Sana'a Governorate. A local source said that the Saudi Air Force destroyed a citizen's house in Kutubain area in Nehem directorate and causing damages in neighboring houses amid flying over the directorate. The source said that the Saudi warplanes launched 2 more raids on areas in the directorate of Bani Matar, west of the capital Sana'a. At least 3 citizens injured by Saudi air raids on Taiz province. Local sources reported that the aircraft of the Saudi aggression launched 3 raids on Al-Rahida area of Khadir district, injuring at least 3 citizens. The Saudi Air Forces also targeted with 5 raids Jabal Hawzan in the directorate of the Bab and with 5 other raids east of the area of Al-Amri in the same directorate. The sources pointed out that the Saudi Air Forces fired 8 raids on Yakhtil areas of Muka directorate. In Mawzi'a district, Saudi warplanes targeted with military and drone aircrafts Khalid Camp with 4 strikes. In previous time, the Saudi air raids killed 2 citizens and injured 4 in Al-Wazi'iyah junction. Yemeni fishermen organized a protest before the United Nations head office in Judaidah Governorate, calling on the United Nations and the international community to protect them from the Saudi constant attacking of fishery industry, which killed hundreds of fishermen and forced thousands of them to leave fishing. Report.
The fishermen of Judaidah celebrated today World Labor Day in their own way. They organized a protest in front of UN head office in Judaidah, complaining about killing and injuring hundreds of fishermen and depriving thousands of them of fishing on their sea. We came today to show solidarity with mates who have been killed on our sea by Saudi aggression. The aggression attacked our islands, killed our fishermen, and threatened them not to fish again, otherwise they are going to be targeted. We are here before UN head office appealing that fishermen are suffering too much from Saudi battleships. Knowing that the Italian, Belgian and French battleships are there and they check us with no harm, unlike Saudi aggression. Thousands of fishermen in Judaidah are unemployed because of the continuation of Saudi airstrikes and naval artillery, which causes too much of living difficulties and the majority of fishermen to live under poverty line. The barbarian coalition has deliberately killed hundreds of fishermen, injured thousands of them, distracted hundreds of boats, and arrested tens of fishermen, causing big suffering of thousands of families. They live in a catastrophic situation in every true sense of the word. This is the 3rd Labor Day under Saudi aggression on Yemen. Workers, citizens, children, schools, boats, and everything in Yemen are still targeted by unfair aggression in full view of Security Council and the whole world.
All Yemeni people are suffering due to the continuation of the Saudi aggression Likewise, it's the Yemeni workers whom live with poverty and unemployment because of the aggression that destroyed all economic aspects in Yemen and deprived them from providing their families' needs. Report. The Saudi-led aggression on Yemen has badly affected Yemeni economy, which resulted in the doubling the number of unemployment and forced Yemeni workers to struggle hardly for their living. Report.
Today is the World Day of Workers, in which the whole world workers celebrate this day, but the Yemeni workers don't celebrate due to 7 months of non-payment of salaries. In this day we find Yemeni workers gathering in the United Nations site to call them to take its humanitarian responsibility to stop economic siege and starvation in Yemen, which badly affected the Yemeni people living, leading to several rallies and marches before the United Nations site, calling them to speed payment salaries since 7 months. Non-salaries paid, siege and starvation urged the thousands of Yemeni people to take the streets on foot march, calling the United Nations to stop the economic blockade and starvation imposed on Yemeni people by Saudi aggression, which led to inevitable famine in several governorates in Yemen. 7 months passed without salaries. We call the United Nations to pay our salaries. We are suffering of economic siege and starvation imposed by Saudi aggression against Yemeni people, which badly affected the living situation in Yemen.
We call the United Nations to take its responsibility to pay salaries. We call it to stop blockade and to quickly pay salaries for Yemeni workers.
We send our message to the United Nations and humanitarian organizations that we need to live peacefully, and we convey our message to the whole world to see what Saudi aggression do of unjust siege and starvation. In spite of all what happened of crimes, siege and violation in Yemeni human rights, we find the international community insists on to turn a blind eye on such atrocities, which represents a green light to Saudi coalition to continue its war and siege on 30 Yemeni people.
The Saudi-led aggression on Yemen has targeted since the first day the Yemeni worker woman, trying to destroy the achievement she made in comparison to the miserable situation of their counterparts in Saudi-controlled lands. Report.
What do we expect from a state that makes the first girls' council and has no presence to any girl? On the other hand, women in Yemen are leaders and hold a lot of very important locations in the government and any other fields. Saudi Arabia is not targeting only Yemen, it targets everything related to freedom, human rights, dignity, and freedom of speech. Yemeni working woman in specific shows a real bravery and extraordinary behavior against all of the difficulties that she's facing among this unfair offending aggression. Yemeni working women stands against a lot of problems and burdensome circumstances. Many women are the only and one supporter for their families. So as a result of payments stopping and shortage of food due to siege, this is leading to a massive complicated economical issues and put Yemen on the edge of a famine, which exhausts the working woman, especially if she was the only supporter for her family. This crisis costs an arm and a leg. It takes a lot of good life opportunities away from Yemeni working women, but blessing in disguise, such these situations make better women for a better place to live in, and to deserve this country, we have to sacrifice.
And finally, the Saudi and UAE-backed mercenaries resumed deporting northern Yemenis from Aden Governorate. Local sources confirmed that the militia deported a group of vegetable vendors in Mansoura district It should be noted that the pro-occupation mercenaries expelled thousands of northern families in 2016, claiming that they were undocumented. Many analysts describe these behaviors as crime against humanity and unjust racial profiling as the country attempts to resolve its conflict. Aden and other southern provinces are controlled currently by many terrorist and demagogue groups armed and supported by the Saudi-led coalition since July 2015. And to end the news, a recap of the top stories one more time. The Saudi jet fighters resume bombing raids over many areas. Yemeni fishermen stage a protest in Judaidah city. And the Saudi war doubles the suffering of Yemeni workers. This is the end of news. Till see you next time, 10:30 Sana local time. Goodbye.